Hello everyone, welcome to session 32 of Selenium Java training. In today's session, I am going to continue with Cucumber and BDD concepts. So from the last three sessions, I am explaining about this Cucumber and BDD. So which is kind of very popular in the market and lot of interviews. Okay, if you attend, they will be asking good number of questions from BDD and Cucumber. So it's a good choice to actually learn it in detail, Cucumber and BDD. So guys, if you remember in the last session, session 3, when I was explaining about tags, I was explaining about tags here. And if you remember, when I put this curly brackets, I'm getting some error, right? So here like this runner class, when I put tags is equal to, and if I surround this tags with curly brackets, then I was getting a kind of error. So this error is in the latest versions of Cucumber, guys. Okay, the latest versions. So I did a bit of R&D around this yesterday and found that these curly brackets are not acceptable in the latest versions. But if you go with the older versions of Cucumber Java or Cucumber JUnit, then it is working fine. So let me show you. So if you want to practice this multiple tags thing and all the stuff, just decrease your version here. You already have added this dependency tags in this pom.xml file for Cucumber Java and Cucumber JUnit, right? 6.5.0, 6.5.0 was there. So which is kind of a latest version as per today. So let me go to MVN repository and search for Cucumber Java. Click on this. So we went to InfoQs and is recommending us to go to IO Cucumber. So let's go to IO Cucumber. Cucumber Java for IO Cucumber. Click on this. So here, if you can see, another version also came. It seems we were using 6.5.0. Now another latest version 6.5.1 has come. Okay, it's kind of very fast. They are releasing these versions into the market. That's fine. But for now, what I was saying here is let's try 6.5.1 once. And if it is not working, then we'll go back to the. Let's go with the latest version first. Save this and see whether these errors are going. If not, we'll go to the older version. So it's building now. It's downloading the latest Cucumber Java and Cucumber JUnit versions. So it's still working on that. Let's wait, guys. Let's wait for a while. Okay. Yeah, it's done. But still, even after updating to the latest version of Cucumber Java and Cucumber JUnit, still we are getting the same error. Okay, if you remove these curly brackets, things will work out. Okay, only one tag you can provide without curly brackets. The reason why we are putting this curly brackets is that we can provide multiple tags here. Okay, without curly brackets, we can only provide up to one tag. With curly brackets, we can provide more than one tags. But when I put these curly brackets, I am getting this kind of error. Okay, so things are not working with the latest versions of Cucumber Java and Cucumber JUnit. So what we can do, just scroll down here. Up, I tried up to 6.0.0, guys. Okay, starting from 6, things are not working. If I go with the 5.7.0 version, let's click on 5.7.0 version. Here, copy the like you don't have to copy again the dependency tags. Just see the version 5.7.0. Update that here 5.7.0. Okay, 5.7.0. Here also 5.7.0, like this. 5.7.0, 5.7.0. Save this. So it's again building. I mean downloading the jars and all. Let's wait. Okay. You see now the errors are gone, right? When you have downgraded your Cucumber Java and Cucumber JUnit versions to the older version, now the errors have been gone. So these curly brackets are not getting supported for the tags in the latest versions. So there is no info, guys. Why these guys like what actually happened and all with the latest versions of Cucumber Java or Cucumber JUnit. There is no info on the web. I tried it. So for now, if you still want to learn how to put multiple tags, what's the only solution? We have to downgrade our versions of Cucumber Java and Cucumber JUnit below 6.0.0. Okay. So till 5.7.0 or lesser version you can take to make this work. Then you will be able to use this kind of structure. Now let me open this and let me try to demonstrate few things which I was not able to demonstrate yesterday. For example, if I provide this or condition, okay, or kind of condition, books or baby, okay. So for example here, so we'll open the feature files. You see, even after the step definitions are available for this Cucumber feature files, even after this Cucumber files have the step definitions, these steps are still getting highlighted. So what is the solution, guys? What we have to do if this kind of thing happens? Any idea? Like what is your suggestion, guys? Already explained in the previous sessions what to do when this kind of situation happens, where you open the feature files and they will show you the highlighted things even after the step definitions are available for this particular steps. Step definitions are already created for this step, still you are getting the highlightations. So the glue is not properly okay. There is no glue, they will say. So what you will do, guys? Tell me, guys, in the chat, like what we have to do when we get this kind of highlightations and saying the glue for this step to this particular step definition code is not available. So what we have to do here is simply right click on the project. Okay, right click on the project, go to Maven and select update project. Okay, select update project, say okay. So let's see what will happen. You see, do you see any difference, guys? Now are the highlightations already gone or not? Now they are connected to the step definitions. Sometimes the connection may be gone due to some XYZ reasons. Simply right click on the project, say Maven, say update project. Things will be good for you. Fine, guys, clear? Clear now what we have to do in this kind of situations? Fine. Now things are good. So we'll go to the feature files. So this feature file has only two tags, that is all and login, whereas search feature file has all books, dev, smoke test. This one has all baby, smoke test and whip. Okay, then this one has smoke, all goods, all average, all bad, ignore. We'll go with search product, guys. Okay. So here, by looking at the search product, if I want to run these books, this particular scenario, which tag I have to use? Books tag, right? So here I'll go here and use the rate books, and save this. Now, if I run this runner class, which scenario will be run, guys? How many scenarios will be run? How many scenarios will be run when I put at the rate books there? How many scenarios, guys? Right click, run as JUnit test. Only one scenario will be run. Okay. Only, yes, only the scenario related to books will be running. And what happened? We are getting error, guys. Don't know whether that is possible or not. Initialization error. Okay. I'll remove all this stuff. Delete. Say okay. Save. Fine. Let me run it again. Right click, run as JUnit test. Some problem coming again. Yeah, it's working now. Something with the reports, guys. I just deleted the report and it was working. Fine. You see, now we have the pretty and everything. That's why this kind of things are coming. That's okay. So which scenario got run? This book scenario. Okay. Books tag related scenario. Only this scenario is tagged with this books. That's why only that particular scenario. Remaining all scenarios doesn't have books. You see, only books is available with this scenario. User should be able to search for the products under books category. Okay, under books category has run. That's fine. Remaining all scenarios doesn't have books. Now, guys, if I say within the double quotes itself, if I say comma at the rate baby. Okay. So now how many scenarios will be run? 2, because or condition, right? Here either the scenario should be tagged with books or the scenario should be tagged with baby. If I go here, there is no book, no baby. So this scenario will not be run. If I go to search products, so either books or baby should be there. So this scenario has books, so it will be considered. Even though baby is not there, since our condition is there, this particular scenario will be run. Coming to this scenario, here books is not there, but baby is there. So this will be considered our condition. Okay, this is our condition. This comma inside the double quotes means or condition. Books or baby. Any of the things should be there for the scenario. And last one, last feature file, all there is no book or no baby. So they will not be considered. Only these two scenarios will be has to be done. So right click, run as JUnit test. So what happened? Zero scenarios it is saying. Why it's saying zero scenarios? Right click, run as JUnit test. Okay, any mistake I did? The red books, the red baby, our condition. What if I put only baby? Let's see what will happen. Right click, run as JUnit test. Yeah, it is running. If I put comma, let me check, cross check. This is correct only at the rate baby, at the rate books. Looks like this is not working. Right click, run as JUnit test. Yeah, it's not working. Somehow it's not working. When you provide multiple things, it is not working. Our condition is not working. What if I put at the rate all? Let's see whether this is working or not. Okay. Right click, run as JUnit test. Okay. The combination is there, so it's working. At the rate baby, at the rate all. This is working, but this is not working. Our condition is not working. Let's see. Update the Cucumber with the attribute as shown below for executing the or books or case. So this should be working, but somehow it's not working, guys. I don't know why. So, but this is working. And condition is working. You see, I said here it should have at the rate baby, at the rate all. Both should be there. So it's working. These two things are there for this scenario, so it's working. So if I give some other thing like now if I give comma at the rate books, will this work? And condition, right? So these are separate tags separated by comma. So this will become and condition. Baby should be there, all should be there, books should be there, then only it will work. If I run this, it will not work, guys. Okay, it should not work. And condition should not work. Zero scenario should come. But when I put this inside the comma at the rate all, or sorry, comma at the rate books, better to put this like this. It should work actually, but it's not working somehow. So right click, run as our condition is not working. Yeah, it's not working. Our condition is not working. So what if I put all? What will happen? Let's see. Right click, run as JUnit test. This is also something is going wrong with the R condition. Okay, R condition. That's fine. So somehow this part is not working. This should work, guys, but this is not working. So and condition is working. And what about negation and all? Let's see. So whatever it is working, I can demonstrate here. So here I'll put this all, comma. I want to run all the scenarios. I want to run all the scenarios except the one which are marked with @dev, @wip, and @ignore. All the remaining scenarios I want to run. Okay. So every scenario is marked with @all. So I'll put @all here so that all scenarios will run. I want to also provide except which symbol I would use, guys? Negation. Okay. @dev. Let's see and use. Okay. Here @dev is there. So negation of @dev, comma. Again I have to put WIP, @WIP. Negation of, I don't want to run whatever the scenarios I don't want to run. I have to put like this. Okay. The tag related scenarios which I don't want to run, I have to put negation of negation of WIP. Another one is this one, @ignore. Negation of @ignore. Let's see whether this will work or not. Right click, run as JUnit test. This is also not working. Somehow they are not supporting, guys, I guess. Okay. Things are not getting supported. Few things are not getting supported. Even though I am providing the things right, still they are not working. Okay. So let's go to the older versions and see whether any luck we'll get out of this. So this is 5.7.0. I'll give something around some 4.6.0. Let's see what will happen. 4.6, 4.6.0, 4.6.0. Few things are not getting supported, guys. Nothing more than that. Okay. But knowledge point of view, just remember, guys, even though practically I'm not able to show you few things. Okay. Few things I'm able to show, few things I'm not able to show. So just do one thing. So whenever you just for knowledge purpose, just remember all this stuff. Okay. Fine. So just remember that if you put the comma inside the double quotes and separate these two tags inside a single double quote, then this is our condition. Okay. Either this should be there or this should be there, then it will work. Here, if you separate, okay, these two tags by providing the double quotes for individual tags, this is and condition. And condition. Okay. Both the tags should be there for the scenario to be executed. Here, either of the tags should be there. Now here, if you put like this, if you want to run all the scenarios except dev, WIP and ignore, you have to put something like this. Fine, this is like downloaded now. Like right click, run as JUnit test. Let's see what will happen. Okay. You see something is happening now. Maybe this is all with the older versions, guys. Okay. Some problem with the latest versions. If you go on digging to the older versions, things are working fine. You see now the things are working. The syntax is same. The syntax is correct, but it is working only with the older versions. The latest versions are not working. Let's see how the scripts are running. I went with the still oldest version 4.6.0 and looks like it is kind of working now. Are we done or it's like still there? Yeah, looks like the execution has been stopped and we can see JUnit to see what exactly has been executed. Users should only be able to log in with valid credentials. This scenario, this feature file that is login, Omaya login has been run. So in Omaya login, all is there. Dev @WIP or what is that? Ignore is not. So this scenario has been executed 3 times because three test data is there. Data driven testing. Same scenario got executed thrice. So you see, same scenario got executed thrice with different credentials. Then future, life of a software tester. Such product didn't get executed because here @dev is there. We have mentioned as negation of @dev, and here WIP is there. We have mentioned negation of WIP, and last one is what is that? Software tester demo. Here, three scenarios are there. software tester demo, out of which 2 scenarios got run. You see, 2 scenarios got run. One of the scenario has @ignore. Okay, so here if you see here, boss loves me is there, boss forgives me is there. Loves me is there, forgives me is there, right? But this hates me is not there. This has not been executed because we have put negation of ignore. Okay, negation of ignore. Fine. Now we'll go back to our things. Okay, fine. So what we'll do here is, this time we'll also put, we'll see the or condition, guys. Last time or condition was not working, right? @baby or @books. This time two scenarios should run. Okay, this or this. Either of these tags should be there for the scenarios to be run. So let me run this and see whether this is working or not. Right click, run as Genie test. Let's see. Yeah, this is working fine now. Okay, with the older version 4.610, things are looking good, guys. So two scenarios got run. You can see the JUnit results also. Only two scenarios, one with books and another one with baby. Okay, let's go with the feature file. Here you see @books, or here we are saying @books or @baby. So this scenario has @books. Baby is not there, so it has been run. Here @baby or @books. Any one of them can be there. Here @baby is there, even though @books is not there. This scenario has been selected for running. Clear, guys? Are all these things clear? How to use tags and all these things are clear for you or not? I'll remove this, only one tag I'll put for now, @baby tag. Fine. So is this clear, guys? How to use tags? How to use tags? Is it clear for you? Yes. So fine. There is only problem is versions, guys. Okay. If you go with the latest version, things are not working out. Just use this older version, that is 4.6.0. If you want to learn about this different tags. Okay. Different tags. Fine. Now we are done. Already done with the session 31. I just thought of explaining this because it was working fine with the older versions. Now let's move to the today's session. That is actually session 32, part 4 of Cucumber and BDD. So we'll start with something like hooks. Okay, there's concept known as hooks, guys. What are hooks and all these things I'll explain now. Hooks. So if you remember, if you go with the TestNG, there are different annotations, right? For example, there is a test method. Which annotation you will use for making a particular method as a test method in TestNG, guys? What's the annotation we have to use for converting a normal method to a test method? Yes, Karan, you are right. We have to use @test method, right? So if I want to run something before the test method, which annotation I have to use? There is a test method. Before actually this test method got executed, before this test method runs, I want to run something before this test method. Which annotation I have to use? Remember, you can type. So there are some annotation. Yes, you are right, Karan. Before method. What if I want to run something after the test method? Which annotation I have to use after the test method? Yes, after method. All these are right, Karan. So like this, we have different annotations, and not only these two annotations, we have many other annotations like @before class, @after class, @before test, @after test, @before suit, @after suit. Like that, many annotations are there in TestNG. But in Cucumber and BDD, there are only two things. Okay, similar things like the job. In case of TestNG, @before method, before after method were there, right? In case of hooks, there are only two things. Okay, there are only two things. That is @before and @after only. Okay, these are the two things. Similar to TestNG before method, after method, we have two things like @before, @after. Okay, these two annotations are there. Okay, fine. So how to do that? So how to use this @before, @after? Let's go here and open one of the step definitions, guys. You can open any step definitions. Okay, there are three feature files here. You can open any step definitions of any of the feature files here. Either you can open this step definition or this one or this one. Okay, let me choose software tester demo, and here I will be typing public void. Okay, So here I will say set, I will not use this one, better I will use a different one. I will not use this step definition. So better I will use a proper one, like say Omayo login I will use. Okay, this has a proper Selenium code so that you will understand how to use them. Okay, so here I will be writing public void setup. Okay, setup method I will be creating. You can give any name here. I'm just giving setup, and I want this setup to happen before this particular test runs. Before this, let's open this feature file. You see, I navigate to the application URL. I enter the username as something something. I click on login button. User should be able to log in based on expected login status is the scenario, right? So here, before this particular test runs, I want to like navigate to the application URL. Something I want to actually. So here, given I navigate to application URL means only one step should be there. That is this one. All these things are prerequisites, right? This one is only step that should be there inside this method. So I navigate to application URL means driver.get only, but not this all this stuff. This all these are like prerequisite kind of things which should be run before the test runs. So for that, I'm creating this kind of method like public void setup, and I'll annotate this method with at the rate before. Over the mouse, import this at the rate before from where? Cucumber API Java, IO Cucumber Java, or .junit. Lot of things are coming. I have to get it from IO Cucumber Java, guys. Okay, IO Cucumber Java. So once I get it, now I'll move all this code from here to here, here to here. Okay. So what this particular setup method will do? It will open the Chrome browser. Okay, it will open the Chrome browser. That's it. It will open the Chrome browser and maximize. So and now you see this particular step is very good now. Given I navigate to application URL. Yes, we are navigating the application URL. All these steps are not related to this particular method. All these steps are related to only this method. Okay, this setup method, prerequisite kind of method, which should be actually put inside the at the rate before. What about after at the rate after? If you go down somewhere here, so in one of the method, okay, in one of the method, like user should be able to log in based on expected login status. We have provided driver.quit, but this should not be part of this step, guys. Okay, here we are not saying user should be able to log in based on expected status and close the browser. We are not saying this step is written here just to close the browser, but this is not the actual place of this particular driver.kit. So here I'll say public void. You can give any name, okay, closure or tear down or closure, anything you can give here. Tear down I am giving. So in this kind of method, I'll say at the rate after. So what are hooks here? At the rate before is one hook, and at the rate after is another hook. So import a after from IO Cucumber Java. Now here, move this driver.pit into here and save this. That's it. Now in one of the step definitions, I have provided this at the rate before, at the rate after. So do you think when will this particular at the rate before and at the rate after will be executed? At the rate before and at the rate after will be not only executed for only single feature like feature file, guys, for all the scenarios in the feature files. These three feature files for all the scenarios it will run, guys, even though you provided this at the rate before, at the rate after inside the Omaya login.java. Don't think that this at the rate before and at the rate after will only run for Omaya login feature file. It will also run for such product. It will also run for software tester demo. You will see that in action now. Okay. You are just thinking that by putting this at the rate before, at the rate after hooks inside the Omaya login, this methods will only be applied for the Omaya login.feature. You are just thinking, but it is not the case. It will be applied to all the feature files. Just see that in action. After that, I'll explain how the things are going. I'll remove all this stuff. Tags I'll remove. So and glue is fine. This plugin we can remove for now. Okay, let's make this simple. Features are there, plugin is there. If I run this runner.java, okay, with JUnit, what happens is those hooks methods will be executed for all the scenarios in these feature files. So there are around 6 scenarios in these 3 feature files. So 6 times the browser will open and browser will close. right, run as JUnit test. You see, the browser is starting and closing. This scenario doesn't require the browser to open and close, right? But still it is opening and closing. At the rate before and after will happen for each and every scenario in all the feature files. For all the feature files, in all the feature files and for all the scenarios, this browser will open and close. Not only for the required scenarios and feature files, but for unnecessary things also it will open and you see blank things are coming and going. Okay, few scenarios, the blank browser is opening and closing. It's not doing anything. Few scenarios require to be opened, but few other scenarios doesn't need the browser. You see blank kind of dialog came here. It's closing. There is no need of opening the browser for I'm a good software tester scenario, right? But still it is opening and closing. You see blank browser is coming and going. There is a problem, right? There is a problem. I thought of I thought I thought that at the rate before and at the rate after will only work for Omaya login feature, but somehow it's working for all the scenarios, even though it's not required. At the rate before and at the rate after are opening for all the scenarios. How to overcome this problem? How to overcome this problem? There is a way, guys. There is a way how to overcome this problem. This is known as tagged hooks. Okay, the thing is known as tagged hooks. So here, how to specify that? Here, go to the place where you have written this at the rate before, at the rate after. Provide the circular brackets to which scenario this particular at the rate before. Okay, at the rate before hook should work. For that, you have to tag these hooks. Put the double quotes here. Here, provide the tag for which scenario tag for which this particular at the rate before should work. If I go to Omaya login, okay, this at the rate before should only work for this scenario only. There is a tag known as at the rate login. So come here and put the tag here. That's it. Only for this tagged scenario only at the rate before will run from now onwards. Now go here, then put the circular brackets, double quotes, same thing at the rate login. Only for at the rate login, quit the browser. Okay, only for at the rate login tag scenario, open the browser. So like that, guys. So one more thing, guys. Actually, let's move on to the latest version. Let's not rely with the older versions. Okay. So only for tags, I have went back to the older version. Now let's go back to the latest version, 6.5.1. Right? What is the latest version? So better not to. So let me explain everything with the latest versions, guys, so that you will know what is working, what is not working. Okay. What is the difference between the latest and oldest versions? Everything you will come to know. Let it download all the jars, and after that, we'll run this to see that this time this tagged hooks, okay, these hooks are not normal hooks, these are known as tagged hooks. when you tag when you tag this at the rate before and at the rate after hooks with the annotations, I mean with the tags like at the rate login and all, this this annotated methods, okay, these hooks will work only with the these hooks will only work with the scenario having this login tag. Remaining scenarios it will not work. So that's the benefit of tagged hooks. These are tagged hooks. So let's see. Now it's downloaded. Now let's see. Let's run this and see for which scenarios these things are working. I'm running all the scenarios, guys, and the browser should open and close only for the Omeo login scenario where we have 3 sets of data. 3 times it should open and close, not more than that. Right click, run as JUnit test. So the browser didn't open and close for the first scenario. Now for the required scenario only, the browser will open and close. You see, for the required scenario only, Omaya scenario only, the browser will open and close. So this may be another Omaya scenario. Another Omaya scenario, 3 times it should open and close, not more than that. The browser should open and close for 3 times. For all the remaining scenarios, it should not open. You see, things are good, right? Things are good. You go with JUnit, you'll come to know. So guys, yesterday we have given this divided by 0. That's why these are getting failed. That's okay. We'll go to the step definitions. of software tester demo, somewhere we put int a is equal to n by 0. So intentionally the scenarios will fail. Save this, that's okay. So if you see here for all the scenarios, all the 6 scenarios in all the feature files got executed, and only for the required Omeo scenarios the browser has opened and closed, because we tagged the hooks now. At the rate before, for which scenario this should work? At the rate login only. Okay, for which scenario this method should be invoked? For the at the rate login tag scenario only. So like that, guys, we can overcome the problems. Hope this is clear. It's all about hooks, guys. It's all about hooks. Now let's move to the other things. JUnit assertions. Okay, let's move to JUnit assertions. So we are using JUnit, guys. Okay, we are using JUnit. So what we can do here is we'll create another scenario with the name login.feature. Another feature file I'm going to create now, guys. This kind of login text. Okay. So this is going to be real time scenario. We'll be using this tutorials ninja.com/demo. Okay. So we'll use this. We'll try to log into this application. We'll try to create a feature file for logging into the application. So let's create a feature file. Right click new. How to create a feature file, guys? Right click new. Have to say file. So this one you already know, guys. Okay. So just focus on try to be interactive and all, so that you can cross check that you already know this. Okay. So now we have to create some feature file. I'm trying to create a feature file with the name login.feature. Click on finish and remove all this stuff. Save here. Now type feature. Login. This is all about logging into tutorials ninja application is a feature. Okay, log into the tutorials ninja application. So in this we have to write the scenarios. First scenario I'll write login to the application with valid credentials. Okay, log into the application with valid credentials. Log into the application with valid credentials. For that, first step should be given. I navigate to login page of the application. Okay, this is the first step. Second step is when I enter username, or here we have email address, you can say. When I enter email address as some email address, and when I enter email address as some email address, or else we can say when I enter, yeah, this is fine, and password as some password into the fields. When enter email address as email address and password as password. Here I'll pass the actual email address and password. For example, I'll pass arun.selenium@gmail.com. Okay. Here I will be passing second @123. Fine. This is the valid credentials I am providing here. Then and I will say okay, and I click on login button. Like this we have to write the feature files, guys. Okay, now because I have created a lot of feature files, by this time you should be able to understand how I am creating the feature files. Then what is the how to check? Then the user should be able to successfully log in. These are the scenarios, guys. This is a scenario I have to write. So you see somewhere I click on login is already implemented in other where. Okay, so I have to modify this, and I click on, somehow I have to modify this so that this step should belong to this tutorials ninja. So I click on the login button Now save this. You see this time it's becoming a different step. Somehow it will match, guys. Okay, so this is matching with some Omaya login or something. Okay, so this is not Omaya login, so this is Tutorials Ninja. So I just added the word. Because of that, the step got completely different from the other step. Fine. Now we have to create the step definition, guys. We have to create the step definition. So we have created the feature file. We have to create the step definitions. So let's create the step definitions for this. Go here under step definitions, right click new, create a new class. I'll say login dot feature. Okay, login dot feature. I am creating a login step definition. Click on finish. Inside this, we can use hooks, guys. If you want, you can use hooks. We can actually provide this with at the rate all at the rate ninja. Okay, at the rate ninja, I will say here. If you remember, we have to create the hooks, right? Better to create hooks. The two tagged hooks will create. So all the predict side steps will be in the tagged hooks. So here I will say public void setup or open. Okay, open browser kind of method I'll create. I'll I'll provide this at the rate before. Okay, at the rate before hook, and I'll import this at the rate before from IO Cucumber Java. IO Cucumber Java, and here provide the circular brackets, and here provide the tag at the rate this is at the rate ninja. Okay, put that into this here. Now here in the open browser, write some code. WebDriver driver is equal to new Chrome driver. Import this WebDriver interface. Import this Chrome driver class. Now here provide WebDriver manager dot Chrome driver dot setup. Here say driver dot manage dot window dot maximize. Now driver dot manage dot timeouts dot implicitly wait 10 time unit dot setup. Okay, dot seconds, sorry, dot seconds. Like this, these are the predict side steps. Now I have to create another method that is for this first step and navigate to login page of the application. So I'll go to that application, which is Chrome, under Chrome apps. I have to open this tiny gherkin, which I explained as part of one of the videos. So given Java steps, this is the auto-generated code. So just to save your time, I'm using the plugin, guys. Okay, but if you want to practice, type on your own. Practice on your own. Import given like this. I navigate to the application. I navigate to login page of the application. Remove all this stuff. Here, remove this thing, and here I have to say driver.get. But this will not work, guys. Okay, this will not work because you see this is local. You have declared this as local to the open browser. You have to make it global. So copy this and put inside the login class so that it will be visible to all the methods. So now you see, if I remove this, I have to remove this also, guys. Okay. Only one place I have to declare. Once I remove that, you see driver.get is possible. Here I have to give the application URL. This application URL I have to navigate and navigate to the login page of the application. This is also done. Now next step. Next step is I enter email address as this one, a password as this one. Copy this step. Go into this same plugin. Paste it here. Java steps. You'll get this. Copy this. You see, this time everything got auto-generated, guys. Okay, you already know what is this and all. Even parameters also came. These things are getting passed to the parameter. Double quotes are also represented. Everything is there. Okay, you don't have to type anything. How to do all these things I already explained in the one of the previous sessions. So I'm not going to repeat that. So here I'll copy paste over the when and import it over the when and import when from this thing, and then remove this throws throwable, and also remove this throw new pending. So this is not required. Now what you have to do, I enter email address as some email address and password as some password. This password and email address are passed here. You can change the names here if you want. This is email. This is email address. and this is password. Okay, we are getting this email address and password from the feature file. You see, from here I am passing the email address, from here I am passing the password. Those things are coming here. So driver dot find element. So here we have to go to the application, guys. Right click inspect. So ID is there. Copy this ID. Driver dot find element by dot ID. Okay, provide the ID. Now say dot send keys. This email address you have to pass, guys. Okay, this email address. Whatever the email address you are receiving from the feature file, you have to pass it here. Now second thing is driver dot this one. Okay, this password field. So ID input password. Okay, driver dot find element by dot ID. I have to provide the password here, password field related stuff there, and send keys. I have to pass the password. I have to pass the password here. Whatever the password I am getting from the feature file, I am passing it here. Now next step. Like this, we have to keep on implementing the steps, guys. I click on the login button. Very simple step. Copy this, put into Tiny Gherkin, and get the code. Auto-generated code. Get the auto-generated code. Copy this and put into this step definition. Import this IND. Import this IND from IO Cucumber. So then remove this throwable. This is unnecessary code, guys. Every time I'm removing because as per the best practices, we should not have any unnecessary code. Okay, we should not have any unnecessary code in our code. That's why I have to remove the throwable and this new kind of things that are not really required. I click on the login button. So this is the login button, guys. Right click inspect the login. So this is the HTML for that particular login button. I'll open the selectors hub, and here I will type. I'll try to create a CSS selector, guys. Input. So say value is equal to login. Okay, input login value is equal to login. Enter. You see, it is getting highlighted. Copy this, and put this inside the driver dot find element by dot CSS selector. By dot CSS selector. Just provide this CSS selector value for that login. Then say dot click. Done. Next thing. Next thing is, what is the next thing, guys? Then I should be able to successfully log in. This is kind of assertion kind of code. I have to validate whether the user has really logged in or not. So here if I provide arun.selenium@gmail.com, here I provide the password like second@123 and click on login, user will be logged in. How to verify whether the user got logged in? If I get this account breadcrumb, then I will be able to verify that. So I have to write a step here for this particular last step, that is then I should be able to successfully log in, right? I'll go to the Tiny Gherkin and paste this thing Java steps. I'll copy the auto generated code, put that here for the mouse, import this then from IO Cucumber and remove the unnecessary code which got auto generated. Now here I have to do the assertion, then I should be able to successfully log in. Okay, then I should be able to successfully log in. So let me show you what we can do. Uh, so this element should be coming, right? This element should be visible. So right click inspect this account breadcrumb. Let me create a kind of locator for that. This one is having from breadcrumb. I'll try to create an XPath here. /star. I have to select this HTML code, guys, from breadcrumb because this has a class. So I want to start from here to here. This is a required one. From here I will start and create this. You already know this. So I have to say class is equal to breadcrumb /a text is equal to what is the text? Account. Okay, account is the text. Text is equal to account. Enter. So this is matching. So this is getting located, right? Copy this XPath. Driver dot find element. Okay. By dot XPath. This is XPath. So I have to verify whether this particular option is coming or not. Okay. I have to assert whether this option is coming or not. So for that we have a something known as, for this we have something known as asset dot so we should not use test for now. We'll use JUnit, guys. Okay, so because I am running the, since I'm running the JUnit here, right? When I'm running the runner class, am I running with TestNG or JUnit, guys? Here I am running with JUnit or TestNG. From where I am running, guys? You have to tell me here. So this runner class is running with JUnit or TestNG. This is having JUnit annotation. Guys, you have to reply. Yes, JUnit. You are right, Karan. We are using JUnit. And are we getting TestNG results or JUnit results? Where we are seeing the execution has been successfully done, in the JUnit tab or TestNG tab. When I am running this runner class using JUnit, I am getting the results under JUnit tab or here TestNG means this one. Okay, JUnit means this one. Where are we getting the results? JUnit or TestNG? These are JUnit results. Okay, these are TestNG results. When I run with JUnit, this runner class, where I am getting the results, guys? I am getting the results in, yes, only JUnit I am getting. TestNG I am not getting. If I run here now, you'll get only from JUnit. Only JUnit results we are getting. TestNG results we are not getting. TestNG results you will only get when you run this kind of thing with TestNG. You are not running this with TestNG, so only JUnit you will get. Okay. You see here, JUnit only results are there. TestNG no results are there. Fine. So here in this kind of situation, what kind of assertions I have to provide in this kind of places, guys? I should not be writing TestNG assertions. If TestNG assertions you will write, it will not fail the JUnit, right? You'll be able to write the TestNG assertions here, but this assertion will not fail the JUnit test. If you want to see something is failing here with the help of these assertions, you should write assert dot. You have to select the assertions from JUnit, guys, not TestNG. Okay, here both TestNG and JUnit assertions are there. Since you are seeing the results in JUnit, for now you have to use JUnit assertions. Here I'll be using one of the JUnit assertion, that is assert. You already know a lot of assertions: assert equals, assert not equals, assert okay, true, assert false. A lot of assertions are there in JUnit. So there is something like assert not null. Okay, assert null, assert not null. So here you see, if you take this assert, where is that? Assert not null, assert null, assert not null. Null is there. Assert not null is here. You see, assert not null is here. Assert not null from JUnit I am taking, not from TestNG, guys. If you can see here, assert not null method from JUnit I am taking. So, so if this element is not there, it will give. 1 minute. Let me check the code once. What is the code I have written earlier? The element I have to pass. So a lot of assertions are there. We can also use this assertion, but this assertion I am using from JUnit, guys. The reason here is we are running using JUnit. That's the main concept. Okay, that's the main concept. Web element is equal to null. Fine, I'll tell you what I am doing here. I'll tell you. So I'll be storing this into the web element, guys. First of all, I will storing this particular result, okay, into a web element. I'll come to that later. I'll store this into the web element. What is a web element, guys? This is a breadcrumb, right? Account breadcrumb. Account breadcrumb is a web element. Hover the mouse, create local variable. This is a web element which got created. But here I will not declare this one here. I'll declare this with here and say here I'll assign null here. Initially the element I'm assigning null. I'm not declaring again here. I'll remove this declaration. And you tell me, guys, now this particular statement, if this login is not successful, what will happen, guys? If the login is not successful, what will happen? This account breadcrumb will come or not? You'll be able to get this account breadcrumb when login has failed. What do you think? Guys, you have to tell me in the chat. So if this account breadcrumb is not coming, if the login is failed, this account breadcrumb will not come. In that case, what will happen here is this will not work. This will give exception. If I run this code, this will give an exception because if login has failed and when it is checking whether the account breadcrumb is coming, it will not come. Then what kind of exception you will get, guys? Which exception you will get? Which exception you will get? Element not found exception, right? Selenium exception you will get, element not found. To overcome that exception, to handle that exception, we can put try catch block here. Try block, you'll get catch exception E. Okay, so I'm handling the exception. When an exception comes, I'm handling the exception. So here I will say the exception is not coming, that's not a problem. If the exception is coming, then it is a problem. Then we'll see this code and write. So user has not logged in. Simply, if you get an exception, that means the login has failed. Okay, login has failed. Otherwise, I can assert dot assert not null. From JUnit I have to take. Okay, I have to take it from JUnit, guys. So I'll take it properly. So assert not null is somewhere assert not null. Assert not null. What's happened here? Suggestions are displayed properly. Assert dot what are JUnit? What is test change? I am not able to understand now. So these suggestions are gone. So mostly here, guys, assert not null. Okay, assert not null. You can put a message also if you want. Assert not null. So this one is imported from JUnit. You can cross check here arg.junit.assert. This is from JUnit assertion, guys. It's not TestNG assertion. Okay. So here I'll say this object nothing but account breadcrumb. Whether this account breadcrumb is not null or not. Okay. If the element is found, then object will be created. If the element is not found, if the login has failed, this account breadcrumb will not be displayed and null value will be there. So we are checking whether this account breadcrumb web element has null value or real element value. Okay, two cases. If login is successful, object will be created. If login is not successful, null will be there. So we are checking whether this is null or object. Null or object. Like nothing more than that. So if object is coming here, we'll put the message. If it is not null, user login has failed. Here also I will say login has failed. Okay. If the element is not coming, not found, we have to say login has failed. So otherwise, things will be passed. Okay. If it is not null only, if it is available, guys, if it is available, then no problem, not null. If it is null, then login will fail and it will give an exception. I mean, it will actually fail the test. It will actually fail the test when null is there in the account breadcrumb. You have to understand this logic. Okay, you have to understand this logic. This is the main focus should be on JUnit assertion, guys. Here I am providing not TestNG assertion. Here I am providing the JUnit assertion. Okay, I am providing the JUnit assertion, not TestNG. So now if I run this code, okay, if I want to run only this login.java, I don't want to run other things. What I have to do, guys? I have to say tags is equal to which tag I have to provide? This login tag, this ninja tag. Okay, copy this ninja tag. What happened here? Some symbols are coming. Fine. Okay, I selected something. Yeah, this option I selected. I should not be selecting that. Okay, step definitions, comma, tags is equal to ninja. Only this particular scenario will run because only this scenario has this ninja tag. You see how the things are becoming easier. Now run this and all the step definitions of this particular class will be running. On breadcrumb, yeah, everything is good. Now go here and right click run as JUnit. I'm running JUnit, guys. Okay, this is JUnit test, not the test engine. Everything is happening on JUnit. So it should run. It will open the Chrome browser, maximize the browser window. It's very fast. It was very fast, guys. Okay, I was able to log in directly. So where do you will get the results, guys? JUnit or test engine results you will get. So if you open the test engine, are there any results, guys? Can you see any results here under test engine? No. Why? Because we are running using JUnit, not test engine. right? We are running using JUnit, not TestNG. Same time, our assertion is also JUnit. So here, if you see here, can you see anything here? The results are under JUnit, not TestNG. Let's say if something really fails, okay? Let's say I will fail something else. So here, let's say I want to fail this assertion. How to fail this assertion? By making this null. How to make this null? By, let's say I'm adding ABC here. So this XPath is invalid XPath now, and this object will not be created. So what will happen if the object is not created? What will this account breadcrumb will hold? What this account breadcrumb will hold now? If the object is not created, by default, what will be there in the account breadcrumb, guys? Which value will be there in the account breadcrumb if this object is not created? Tell me, guys. Which what will be there inside this account breadcrumb web element? If object is, yes, Karan, you are right. Null option will be there. Null will be there. So here we are saying assert not null. But if you are getting null, but you are asserting for not null, but you are getting null, what will happen, guys? This statement will pass or fail. This assertion will pass or fail. You are expecting for object, but you are getting null. It will fail. Okay, it will fail. So when it fails, what will happen? You will see in the you should see in the reports results. You should see that this particular test has failed. Okay. So let's see. Let's run this again now. After changing those things, like let's run this. This time the test should fail, guys. This time the test should fail. This time the test should fail. Now go here and you see anything got failed in the JUnit results or not. Can you see assertion JUnit assertions? This is nothing but JUnit assertions, guys. Login has failed. Whatever the message we have given, right, that is coming here. Login has failed. Here we have given the message in the assertions, guys. 1 minute, let me show you. Here, login has failed. This particular message got printing here. In the JUnit results, it's coming. If you open TestNG, nothing will come. Okay, nothing is failing in the TestNG, but it's only failing in the JUnit. Okay, this assertion is only coming in the JUnit. And also one more thing we missed, guys. We have provided at the rate before, but we have not provided at the rate after. Okay, I'll change it to at the rate after here, and the tag will be same. Ninja tag, only for Ninja tag it should work. Cucumber, and here close browser I will say, and here I will say driver.quit. That's why our browser is not driver.close or quit. Anything is fine. I'll say close for now. Save it. This browser is not closing every time. This time you run, it will be working fine. Okay. Right click, run as JUnit test. So the real reason why I'm explaining this section is, if you are running with JUnit, your results will come in JUnit. Okay. And also your assertions should be JUnit. Then only we'll see the assertions here. Okay. So I'll also show you one more thing now. Okay. So now we are getting the assertions in JUnit. That's fine. So what if, guys, I will do something like this. I'll actually comment this out for now. I'll take the assertion from TestNG. Assert dot. I'll simply fail it. Okay. I'll directly fail it. This is from JUnit, guys. I'll remove this JUnit from here. Where is that JUnit? Assert dot fail. Import statement will be added here, right? JUnit assert is there. So assert dot fail. Okay. This is the one. I'll remove this. Save this, and I'll get the error here. Over the mouse. Here you can import this from JUnit TestNG. I'm selecting TestNG intentionally. Okay. This test will fail irrespective of anything. This particular test will fail, guys. So here assert fail. This is from TestNG or JUnit, guys. This assertion is from TestNG or JUnit. Whatever the assertion I provided here, this is from JUnit or TestNG. Tell me, guys. This assertion statement is from JUnit or TestNG. From where it is? This is JUnit assertion or TestNG assertion. You have to tell me, guys, first. Be fast, guys. We don't have that much time. Yes, this is TestNG assertion. Okay. This is testng assertion, not JNet assertion. But I am running this runner class using JNet or testng. I am running this runner class using JNet or testng. Right click, run as. Here what is coming here? JNet. I am running using JNet, but here assertion is testng assertion. Assertion is testng, but runner is JNet. What will happen, guys? Will I get this assertion here in the JNet reports? Will I get testng assertion as failure in the JNet reports? Is it possible? You're getting my point, right? Where I am going, you are understanding, right? This runner class is JNet. If I run this, I am running using JNet. I'm running using JNet now. The execution will happen, but here in the login class, when the things are running, the assertion is from testng. If something fails in testng, will that result come in the JNet results or not? Something is really failing, guys, but I'm not getting that assertion. Okay, I'm not getting that assertion is not coming. Okay, so testng assertions are coming here, not JNet assertions. You see, or testng assert fail. But JNet is kind of recognizing it, but this is not the exact assertion you have to keep. For JNet results, if you are using the JNet results, here you have to keep not testng assertions. You have to use JNet assertions. Okay, if you are running this runner class using JNet, then assertion should be off. Then only you will get the proper assertions here, guys. Okay, if you click here, you see details are not coming properly. Okay, so it's giving the testng assertions inside the JNet. It's not a correct way. This should be in sync. The results assertions should be in sync with the JNet. So here we should not be using testng assertions. I'll remove this from here, arg.testng from here, and import this assert from the JNet only, not testng. Things will be in sync now. Now, guys, my requirement here is I don't want this particular runner class should be executed from the JNet. I am running this runner class using JNet now, right? But I want to run this with testng. How to do that? Any ideas? How to do this? So far, I was running this runner class using JNet, but I want to run with testng. Okay, in my project, everywhere testng is there. Somehow, this only runner class is from JNet. I want to make everything testng. So, what you will think, guys? What you can do? You have to convert this into testng. How to convert this into testng? Let me explain. Okay, this section will be explaining, and after that, we'll go with the data tables, guys. This is also very simple concept. Okay, for now, let's complete this testng and then go to data tables. I'll move this to the end. Better to cover testng because you understood JNet and all. Now let's understand testng. How to use this Cucumber with testng and all. We'll understand that. Okay. The runner class we are running so far with JNet, but let's convert that into testng now. How to do that? So for running with testng, okay, copy this. Okay, so fine. Let me explain what to do. We'll first create a testng.xml file, guys. Okay, we'll first create a testng.xml file, or we can create another thing like runner class. We'll create. Okay, we'll create runner class. So we'll close everything. So already we have this runner class. This is a JNet runner class. Okay, this runner class is a JNet runner class. You see, JNet runner. But I want to create another runner class, guys. This is for testng. I want to create class. I'll name this with a different name. Let's say test runner. I'm giving a different name like test runner. This class I want to create for testng. For testng, I want to create test runner. So here also, can I provide @run with here? @run with I have to provide, right? For JNet I have to provide runs with or run with. @run with, yeah. This is from JNet, guys. I don't want to use JNet now. I want to use testng. So this is not required. @run with annotation is from JNet. I don't want to use because I want to make this class as a testng runner class. So what next I have to do? I have to extend this particular class. I have to extend this particular class from a class. Some other, I'll show you what is that. I have to extend this test runner from this particular thing. Abstract testng Cucumber test. Extends. So this will not work, guys. I'll tell you why. Okay, this will not work. I'll tell you why. Copy paste. There is a class known as abstract testng Cucumber test. You will not get import statement. How to get the import statement? Go to MVN repository. we need another jar, guys. Okay, we need another jar. So here, go here and download a go to MVN repository and search for cucumber testng. Like this, you have to search. So cucumber JVM testng is something we need from IO Cucumber. Go here and since you are using 6.5.1 now, everything should be in sync, guys. So I'll go with the 6.5.1 version of Cucumber testng. Copy this and go to pom.xml file, and somewhere here under the dependencies, add this dependency. Okay, add this dependency. Save this. Jar files will be downloaded for Cucumber testng also this time. Now we have the Cucumber Java, we have Cucumber JNet, now we have Cucumber testng also. So all the jar files related are there. So this particular class is from Cucumber testng jar. Okay, that's why we have to put that dependency tags for Cucumber testng in the pom.xml file. Then only you will be able to import this. So you see already you are getting this import statement. Let me import this particular class from IO Cucumber testng. So in order to create the runner class for testng, these are the steps, guys. You have to create a class, say public class runner or test runner, something like this, and extend that with this particular thing. Not extend this, we have to put this dependency tags. Fine. After that, you have to say these options we have to provide at the rate Cucumber options, right? The same options will be same, guys. Let's say we'll put the same thing here at the rate Cucumber options. Feature is this one, glue is this one, tags are Ninja. Let's say. Fine. Save this. So this is from it is coming from JNet, guys. You simply don't copy paste. Okay, when you copy paste, you see you have to cross check whether from where this annotation is imported. It's imported from JNet, guys. It should not be done, right? It's not the correct thing. We should not be using JNet anywhere. Okay, we should not be using the JNet anywhere. Over the mouse, now you are getting Cucumber options from not only from JNet but also from testng. You have to select testng now. This is going to be a testng runner class. All these things should happen from testng only. You should not see any import statement from JNet here. Cross check that. Once you see everything as testng here, okay, once you see everything as testng in this particular class, so what next? Next thing is I have to create. So let's try to run this. Let's try to run this runner class and see what is happening. Let's run this test runner. This run should happen on testng, guys, not JNet. Right click, run as, right click, run as. You see which option you are getting, JNet or testng this time? Which option you are getting, guys, JNet or testng? Yes, testng. So we created a runner class for testng. This is for JNet. This is a JNet runner class. Normal runner class is a JNet runner class. Here, if you right click and run as, you will get JNet test. So if you are creating the class like this and importing everything from testng and extending this class with abstract class, this abstract testng Cucumber test, then this will become a testng. Right click, run as testng test. See which see the scenario should run here also. Using testng also we should be able to run. We are running using testng, guys, this time. The results will fall in JNet results tab or testng results tab. Where you will get the results, guys? JNet results or testng results? Where you are getting the results? Yes, you are getting the testng. As you can see, results of running class test runner. Under testng, you are getting the results. You see, proper assertions are coming. Everything is there. So don't worry about JNet. Okay. So it's all about testng now. The results will come in. Earlier, results are not coming in testng. Once you convert this runner class into testng runner class, results will come into the testng. So this is how we have to do. Now you already know the remaining things, like if you want to run this using Maven, okay. So like if you want to run this particular project from the command line, what you have to do, guys? So we have to generate a testng.xml file, right? We have to generate a testng.xml file. So right click, new. This will be enough, guys, but still if you want to get compatible with Maven commands, okay, if you want to run from Maven command line, what you have to do? So here you have to right click here, go to testng and select convert to testng, and here you will create this testng.xml file will be created for you. right? testng.xml file will be created for you. Click on finish. So testng.xml file. So here, okay, fine. So what else we have to do? Let me check. We have to create this XML file. I'll put this here. We'll cross check the file. That's it. Nothing more than that. So things are good. We have to give here, guys, in the testng.xml file. So just listen to this, guys. So we created the runner class. This runner class will decide which feature files should be run or not. Control is there in the runner class. Testng runner class will decide. Here I said tags is equal ninja. Only the scenarios related to that ninja, that is in the login feature, this scenario only will run. Remaining scenarios will not run, right? So if I run this runner class from testng.xml file, things will be good or not? So a modification should be done in the runner class. So whatever you want to run here, if I remove this, what will be happen, guys? If I remove this, how many scenarios will be executed? How many scenarios will be executed if I remove the tags is equal to @ninja? How many scenarios will be executed, guys? Guys, tell me. If I remove the tags, if I put the tags, only one scenario is getting executed. If I remove the tags, how many scenarios will be executed? Will all the yes, you are right, Karan. All the feature files will be executed. All the scenarios in the feature files will be executed, right? So the control is there in the test runner. So if you run the test runner, that will be enough, right? So if you want to run testng.xml file, here you are providing the classes. This is not the correct way, right? Not the correct way. Cucumber will not run like this. You cannot directly run the step definitions, right? Click run as. This is not the correct way. You see, there is no running. So, but testng.xml file is providing the classes here. So you should not be writing this class, guys. Remove one of the class here from this. And what should be provided here, guys? Which class should be running? In order to run the Cucumber, feature files, which class should be specified here? Any ideas you are getting? We cannot provide the step definition classes here in the testng.xml file. Which classes should be provided here? Which class should be provided here in order to run these feature files? You already know the answer, guys. You know the answer. Like, forget about testng. If I have to run these feature files, which class I will be running? Which class I will be running to run the feature files? Will I run this step definition class in order to run the feature file? For example, if I want to run login.feature, do I have to right click on login.java and then run it? Or which class I have to run? Tell me, guys, from where I am running? From where I am running? Very simple, guys. You have to answer. So let's say, guys, forget about testng.xml file. I am just closing that. Now I want to run this feature files. Okay. I want to run all the feature files. How to do that? Tell me, guys, what is the process? Forget about the testng.xml file. I just have to run all the feature files together. What I have to do? Which class I have to run? Where I have to go, guys? From where I have to run this? I don't want to individually run this. I don't want to right click on the feature file and say run as Cucumber feature. Only this login.feature will run. If I right click on this and then run this Cucumber feature, only this Omaya login will run. But I want to run all the feature files. What I have to do? Which class I have to open? From where I have to run? This runner class, guys. This is JNet runner class. This is SessionJ runner class. This is from where we are running the class, running the feature files, right? So if I run, all the feature file will be run or not from the test runner or runner. Either it may be JUnit or testng, it doesn't matter. For example, here testng is there. If I right click run as testng, what will happen, guys? Will all the feature files will be run or not? You are getting the point or not, guys? You are not getting to the point. You are getting confused. Okay. So it should not be like that. So here we are invoking from runner classes. That is, let's say test runner. If I run the test runner from here, which will be invoked, guys? What will be invoked? Very basic concept, nothing more than that. Here, if I run the test runner.java, what will be run? What will be invoked? Step definitions or feature files? Step definitions or feature files? Guys, tell me, type in the chat, guys. It should be very fast. Very simple concepts. If I run the test runner.java, here, which will be invoked? Step definitions or feature files? Yes, feature files. Correct. Feature files. Okay. When feature files are run, the associated step definitions will work. This is a basic concept you have to keep in mind. The associated step definitions will work. Step definitions will run. So the control is there in which place? From where the control is starting? Test runner only, right? Here the control. So if I have to run all these feature files, I simply have to run the test runner. I don't have to run the specific classes, right? I don't have to run the individual classes here. Simply if I run this test runner, automatically, whatever the classes that are mentioned in the test runner, all those will be executed indirectly, right? So in the testng.xml file, which class I have to provide? Which class I have to provide? To run all the feature files, which class I have to provide? Now tell me. You should be able to answer. Yes, you are right now. You came to the point now, right? You are right, Karan. Okay, we have to provide the test runner class. How to provide? Here we have to provide the package name followed by the class name. So what is the package name under which test runner is available? Runner. So here we have to modify that to runner. Okay, put the runner. So here instead of login we have to provide test runner. Save this. Now if I run this testng.xml file, which class will be invoked? Now on the top of the test runner here testng.xml. I'm putting one more control here on the top, right? From here, I want to run testng.xml. Testng.xml should invoke which class? Test runner. Test runner will invoke feature files. Feature files will invoke step definitions. Clear, guys? How the things are going forward. Now instead of running the test runner, every time I will run which class, which file? I can run testng.xml file. Right click, run as testng suite. This will invoke which file, guys? When I run this, this will invoke which file? Testng.xml file will invoke which class? Test runner class. Test runner class will invoke the feature files. Feature files will run the step definitions. Clear, guys? Is this clear? The structure, is it clear? Great. So right click, run as testng suite. See, somehow some problem came. Yeah, all the scenarios are running, guys, because in this runner test runner class, right, I didn't give any tag. Okay, this time I didn't give any tag in the test runner, so it is executing all the scenarios, all the feature files. It is executing. Fine. So let it do. That's fine. Now we configure testng.xml file to run the test runner. Test runner will run the feature files. Feature files will run the step definitions. So the structure is clear. Hierarchy is clear. Now once this testng.xml file is good, what we can do is we can run this from Maven. Okay, from Maven we can run. We can run the testng from the Maven. So how to make sure that we can run from Maven? Let me show you. Let me close all this stuff. So I want to run this project from Maven, guys. Maven commands, command line. So for that, can I directly go from here? Go to properties, go to project path. Okay, go to project path. And this is a project. Here I'll type CMD. And here, what is the Maven command, guys, to run that particular test? Simple. I have to say Maven test. I have to say Maven test and then run it. But before that, I have to add something, guys. Into the pom.xml file, I have to add something here. Okay, this cannot be normal Maven Surefire plugin. Here a plugin should be added for Maven Surefire. What is that plugin? You have to say testng Maven configuration. This is already explained as part of Maven, guys. If you remember, I explained this concept as part of Maven. If you want to run a project from the Maven command line, then you have to add this plugin, testng Maven configuration. You have to type. You will get this Maven Surefire plugin. You will get. So scroll down here. Somewhere you will get this plugin. You see this plugin, guys. Copy complete thing. So the latest version of Maven already Maven Surefire is there in your machine. If it is not there, you have to add this plugin, guys. Okay, you have to add this plugin. How to add and all those things I explained as part of the previous sessions. So here from here you have to add the complete plugin, and this has some configuration. You see, this plugin has some configuration. Here normal plugin is there, but here plugin along with some configuration is there. In the configuration, what is mentioned? The testng.xml file is mentioned. This should be the case. Copy this complete thing. Copy this complete thing and paste into this part. Okay, paste into this part. So configuration also came along with the plugin. We got the configuration. So this configuration. So here we have to mention testng.xml file, and we got the latest version of the Maven Surefire plugin. This plugin should be inside build. If you don't see build plugin management in your machine, right? Okay, if you don't see this build plugin management plugins, you have to add this. Under this, we have to add this plugin known as Maven Surefire plugin along with this configuration. In the configuration, you have to mention the name of this testng.xml. It is matching, so no need to change anything here. Okay. So once you add this here, now you can run from the command line. You can run this particular testng.xml from the command line. Simply say Maven test now, things will work out. So what is happening here? Why it's not running? Sorry, wrong command. Maven test, MVN test we have to type. Okay, not Maven test, MVN test. So this should run from command line, guys. This Maven project will run from the command line now. So it's you see, all the feature files will run. So what's happening here is from Maven command line, you are invoking the MVN test. This MVN test will invoke testng.xml. Testng.xml file will invoke testrunner class. Testrunner class will invoke the feature files. Feature files will invoke the step definitions. A lot of hierarchy is going on. Okay, this is really required, guys. Why I'm explaining this? All these things are required. For the coming sections, these are required. You have to understand these concepts. Okay, so complete process you have to understand from where the things are going, from where it is starting, from where it is going. You have to understand because tomorrow you will use Jenkins. In Jenkins, you have to provide MVN test only. You cannot provide the project there, right? Why we have to use Maven, guys? Maven comments are required in Jenkins again. Okay, so in real time, if you see, you will not see, you will not run like this. You will run from Jenkins. For Jenkins, Maven is required. Okay, for Jenkins, one of the things are failing. That's fine. Let's not worry about the failures and all. But this is how we have to run, guys. Okay, this is how we have to run. Okay, so there is some kind of failure at some point of time. We can correct that. Not a problem. Okay. So like this, guys, the main concept you have to understand is if you want to run this pom.xml file, I mean, if you want to run this testng.xml file from command line, maven command, mvn test. So here in the pom.xml file, you have to provide this plugin. Okay. Maven Surefire plugin you have to provide. Where is that? Somewhere here. Maven Surefire plugin you have to add along with the configuration. The configuration should have this testng.xml file. This testng.xml file has runner.testrunner. Testrunner will have is executing all the tags. Okay, all the feature files. All the feature files will execute this step definitions. So this is a hierarchy, guys. Hope this is clear, guys. Guys, is it clear how to integrate your Cucumber thing with Maven and TestNG? Okay, just practice, guys. You should get the results. Once you get the results, you will get confident. Fine. So last topic, guys, that is data tables. Okay, last topic, that is data tables. Very simple topic. So this will end our Cucumber and BDD series. Okay, today we'll be completing our Cucumber and BDD. So this is the last topic, and this is very simple topic to understand and useful topic also. You'll know the difference, like why we have to use data tables and where we have to use. You'll easily understand. Fine. So for example, guys, we'll take this scenario. We'll go to the same application, Tutorials Ninja demo. Here you go to the log. You go to the registration part. Register. Here, how many fields are there, guys? A lot of fields are there, right? So let me create a scenario for this. Let me create a feature file for register. How to create the scenario for the feature file for the register? Right click on the feature, say file register dot feature. I have to say I created a register dot feature. I'll remove this. I'll create a feature file, feature colon register into the tutorials ninja application. Okay, register for an account in Tutorials Ninja application is the feature. Under this, we have to create scenarios. Scenario register by providing register for the application by providing some sample scenario I'm writing, guys. Okay, like creating some test case. I'm creating this scenario. Register for the application by providing valid details. Valid details. So in this given, what's the first step, guys? I navigate to this register page, right? Given I navigate to register page. When now the thing will come. Okay, why data tables are required, you will understand now. When I enter when I enter first name, comma, I cannot give comma, maybe when I enter first name, last name, what's the next one? Email. All the mandatory fields I am providing here. First name, last name, email, telephone. Then what is that? Password. So confirm password and it will be part of this. That's fine. Then yeah, this many fields I have to enter. Then I have to select this checkbox option and I select the, what is the checkbox option guys? Privacy policy. Privacy policy option, and I click on continue button. Then user should be able to successfully log in. Okay, this is the thing. Okay, successfully log in or register, you can say register. Now guys, if you talk about this when step, how many fields you are entering guys? First name you are entering, last name you are entering, email, telephone, password. Okay, first name, last name, email, telephone, password. How many values? 5 values you have to enter. This is looking good or not? This will not look good. Only 1 or 2 values, this is fine. But if you want to enter multiple values, like very good number of length of values, should not write like this guys. Okay, should not write like this. There is a different approach. That is nothing but data tables I will explain. So here is a feature file. We have to write like this. There's something like data tables. So under this step, I enter the, instead of writing this all these steps, I'll say I enter the below details. Okay, enter the below details. Here, put the type symbol like this. We have to write. Okay. So first thing, first field is like I have to enter first name, right? So I'll say first name. First name. So this is the proper way of writing the scenario, guys. Cucumber. Okay, if I have to write this properly, when there are multiple values, more than 2 values, only username or password means that's fine. When I enter username as username, password as password is fine. But if I have to enter this 5 or 10 kind of things like this, okay, a very lengthy form you have to fill. You should not make this very big, guys. Okay, when I enter this, like you have to only up to 2 is fine. If you have more than 2, simply follow this approach of data tables. Okay, I enter the below details. You can type here for the first name. Enter into the first name, enter this value. The last name you enter this value. In the email you enter this value. Like this we have to type. The first name enter Arun. In the last name enter say Motori. In the email address, right? This email address field. Into the email enter the email, that is I'll give a different name guys. Arun dot selenium, okay, abc at the rate gmail.com I am giving. Then password I have to give. Password, there are 2 fields for password. Only one password will be enough. We can pass the same password to the password and confirm password. So I am just giving only one password here. Okay, even though there are 2 fields, the same password can be passed to 2 different things. So password, so I'll give the password as second at the rate 123. Then these things are done. Telephone I have to enter somewhere here, right? After email I have to enter telephone. Okay, after email I have to enter telephone. So here I will say telephone. What is the telephone? I'll give some random number 1 2 3 4 5. Okay. So here make sure it's organized properly, so that if you, there is no problem in organizing, guys. If you organize, it will look good. Otherwise, it will look kind of right, clumsy kind of the feeling you will get. So press tab like this, and just make sure that it's looking good actually. Okay, this will not give any errors, guys. This is just for making the things look good, nothing more than that. So these are the 5 sets of values. So this will go and fall into the this has to go and fall into the this part. Okay, like that for each and every field. If you have a lengthy form like this, you have to go with the data tables, guys. Okay, if you have lengthy form like this and you have to fill multiple fields, just go with the data tables concept. In this feature file, you have to write like this. Don't write I enter first name as first name, last name as last name, email as email, telephone as telephone, password as password. Like that kind of step, don't write. If you have more than two type of values to be filled, like a form, if we have a kind of form kind of thing, go with the data tables simply. Okay, now save it. Now guys, for this we have to create the step definitions. For this particular file, we have to create the step definitions. So how to create that? So right click on the step definitions, create a new class known as register class. Finish. So here, first thing is that I have to create a at the rate before I will create a tag also for this. I'll create a tag at the rate register, I will say. At the rate register tag, I will say. Okay. So here at the rate public void open browser. I'll write the code for opening the browser first. Okay. So this one will be in the at the rate before. Okay. At the rate before hook. And this hook will be attached to, this will be a tagged hook, guys. I'll attach this hook to at the rate register tag. Only for this scenario it will run. This at the rate before will run only for this scenario. The scenario having the at the rate register tag only it will run. Now here I will write driver is equal to new. I'll be a bit fast, guys, because you already know the steps. Driver, over the mouse, import the WebDriver, import the Chrome driver. Now here I have to say WebDriver manager dot Chrome driver dot setup. Now here driver dot manage dot window dot maximize, driver dot manage dot timeouts dot implicitly wait, time unit, sorry, 10 seconds. Here I have to say time unit dot seconds, time unit dot seconds I have to say. That's it. Fine. Now next thing is next one. That is first step I will to implement. Given I navigate to register page. Okay. So for that I have to get this plugin again. Chrome :/apps. Open this TinyGherkin. Paste this code. Paste this step from feature file. Java generate Java steps. Get this auto generated method. Put that here. Over the mouse on given. Import this given from IO Cucumber. Remove the unnecessary steps. Remove this unnecessary step. Now here I navigate to register page. So how to navigate driver.get? I have to type like this, driver.get of, I have to give the URL of the register page. So this is the register page where we are. Okay, copy this register page and paste it here. That's it. But here this is not, this is giving error because this should become global. This should become global. Driver dot directly under the class I will provide WebDriver driver and I'll remove this declaration from here. Now it can be accessed. That's it, guys. This step is done. Now the next step, you have to focus more on the next step, guys. Okay, this is what is the data table all about. When I enter the below details, I don't know whether I can copy paste this one into this and get the things. Let's try. So what's the matter? Java steps. No, I'm not getting. Just getting the high level thing. Okay, so I'll copy paste the same thing and put that into here. When I enter the below details, import when from IO Cucumber. Now remove the unnecessary steps. Remove this unnecessary step. And here from this feature file, guys, there are different sets of data. Like it's not different sets of data, same set of data, but multiple data is there, right? For every field, there is a data, a form kind of data is there. This one, if you want to get here, you have to add something like data table. Okay, data table. So say data table dot data. Over the mouse, import this data table from, think from here, guys, IO Cucumber data table. Okay, let's say fine. So this is the syntax, guys. We have to get all this data. We have to get all this data into this data table. Now data dot, you see, you can convert this into something. Okay, you can convert this into map. We have to convert this into, you remember the maps in Java, right? You have to convert this data into dot as map. Okay, key and value it's asking. What is the type of the key and what is the type of value? So here, if you go and look at the data, this is string, this is also string. All these are strings, all these are also strings. We can actually convert them into strings. Like so here we can say string dot class. The type of the data we have to say. The key is of type string. The value is of type string. I'm not going to explain hash map kind of concept here. You already know as part of Java concepts. I explained this. Okay, converting this into. I'm just converting this data table into map. So you'll receive all this that as a data table here. Okay, into this particular step. Those things you are converting as map. So this will return map here. Okay, this will return map. Data map I will say is equal to hover the mouse, create local variable. So map of object it's saying. So it's string you can say string saying object but string you'll say. See what will happen. Yeah, things are good. Now we can get the data. Okay, now we can get the data, guys. How to get the data? So first name means Arun, last name means Motori, email means this email address, telephone means this telephone, password means this password. So now type something. Let's inspect this code. First name and this ID is there for this particular thing. ID is there. Copy this ID. Driver dot find element by dot ID. Put that ID dot send keys. Here we have to say data map dot get key. Which key? Which key I have to get? I have to get first name key. So put that first name here. Okay, this is a syntax, guys. This is a syntax. So we are getting this complete data into this data table. We are converting the data table into a map. You already know how to work with maps, right? So here into this web element, we are retrieving the get a first name. Whatever the first name is there here, the value of the first name that is Arun will be retrieved using the syntax data map dot get of first name means it will retrieve Arun. So Arun will be passed into first name like this, guys. Okay, this is a code. This is how the syntax we have to write. You can copy this and paste here to cross check whether we are writing the correct code or not. Let's cross check, guys. So here is a thing. Yeah, we are getting the data table. We are converting the data table into hash map or map kind of thing, and we are retrieving the values of the specific keys. Every field, first name field, the value of this first name will come and fall into this send keys. So Aruna is coming here. So similarly, we have to write the remaining things. Driver dot find element. What is the next one? Next one is last name. Inspect this. Copy by dot ID, right? That is ID. So ID last name dot send keys. Send keys. Here you have to pass what, guys? This data map dot get of key. Which key we have to use this time? The double quotes we have to give the key name. That is this last name key. Put the last name key here like this. Now driver dot find element by dot next one. Next one is email. Inspect this email. So input email by dot ID again. Provide the ID dot send keys again. Data map dot get of object. So which key here? Email key. I think email, right? Email key. Okay. The value of the email key. The value of this email key is this value. This value will come and fall here. Driver dot find element. This time telephone. Inspect this telephone. This also has ID. It's very good to have the IDs, guys. Okay. So it will make our job easy. When every field has ID, it will make our job easy in locating them. Dot send keys. Here we have to say data map dot get of object. Okay. This object is telephone. Okay. Telephone. So where is that? Telephone. Okay, telephone is also done. Now finally, last one is password, right? But password has to be entered into two fields, this field and this field. So let's first enter password into this field. Password field, input password, copy, ID is there. So again same thing, driver dot find element by dot ID. Put this one, then say dot send keys. Here we have to provide this key, that is password key. password key, provide this password key here. Now finally the last field is there, that is this also has to be provided with the same password. Inspect this, input confirm, id is there, driver dot find element by dot id. Okay, provide the id, then say dot send keys. Here you have to provide the same password. Same password you have to provide into the confirm password field also. Same password we have to provide. That's it. This part is done. So this is how we have to get this data and enter into the respective fields like this. Okay. You have to write the step definition like this. This is very important, guys. Data tables is very important. Okay. So when you have a lengthy form, go with the data tables. Simple. Now next steps will simply auto generate and get it done. It will be very fast. So remove this, put this here. Java steps, auto generated the code. So go here. So put it here. Import this and import this. Remove the unnecessary steps. Everything is same, guys. Okay. Simply follow the process. So here I select the privacy policy. I select the privacy policy is there. So which is nothing but this one. Okay. Checkbox option. Inspect this checkbox option. It has name, guys. Agree. Driver dot find element by dot name. Sorry, class name came. So I'll convert to name again. Name. Name is this name. Agree. Dot click. This will click, select the checkbox option. This is done. Next step. Next step is final step. And I click on continue button. And I click on continue button. Go here, paste the thing. Sorry, paste the thing. Copy the generated code. Paste it back here. And remove the unnecessary things. And click on continue button. So here I will say, okay, right click, inspect this button. So this is the button, guys. Input value continue. Selector sub. I'll create CSS selector for this. Input value continue. Copy. This is locating this one element. That's fine. Driver dot find element by dot CSS selector. Provide the CSS selector. Then say dot click. That's it. So we have clicked on the continue button. What will happen once you click on the continue button? Let's type something here. Arun Moturi XYZ ABC. Okay. So telephone 1234567 12345 password 12345 password. So what is the value we are giving here from the password? For the password 12345. Okay. So that's fine. Password second at the rate 123, whatever it is. That's fine. I have to give something into the password. Click on checkbox and click on continue. Account has been created. Here you see, we don't know whether that will happen. So here we have to see, we have to get the success breadcrumb, right? We have to get the success breadcrumb. So we can write this step, or we can like fine now. I'm not going to implement more. I'll not implement more. I click on continue button. So this is implemented. User should be able to successfully register, right? So here the code for verifying whether this success is coming or not. You already know how to write the code. So let me write otherwise. Right click inspect. There's a breadcrumb we have to create. Selectors hub. From here I will start. / star class is equal to breadcrumb. Class is equal to breadcrumb. / a text is equal to this success text. SUCCESS. Enter. This will locate. Copy this and paste it here. So this is a breadcrumb, right? Fine. Here I didn't add the last step. So let me add the last step before using that CSS selector. Then I'll go here. So all the repetitive steps, guys, nothing more than that. Then copy this part. Let complete this scenario. So it will be done. Here, this is the thing. Or else we'll do one thing, guys. We'll not worry about this. We'll write up to here only. We'll remove this step entirely. Okay. Our main focus is to learn about data tables, right? All these things you already know. Okay. So let's not write the remaining step. So let's give the step definitions, steps up to here only till end. So we should be in a position. Even I don't want to click on this continue button also. I don't want to even have this step also, because you will see that this is working or not. if this particular details are entered into this particular register form, then things are good, right? So whether data table is working or not, we have to check. That's the main intention. We don't have to write the remaining things. So fine, let's see. We'll go to the test runner of TestNG, and here, instead of running all the feature files, I'll run only the feature file having the name register.feature. Only this feature file I'll run. I don't want to run all the feature files. Either by specifying the tag name, we can filter this, or by specifying the feature name, we can filter the number of feature files to be run using the test runner. So fine, this is good. Right click run as testng test. So it should be able to enter all the details into the form, guys, register form. Okay, that's the main intention. That's the main focus we have to. It's going to the register page. You see, Arun has been entered to first name, Motori has been entered to last name, Arun.selenium ABC got entered into the email, then telephone, then password. Then this has been selected. We have intentionally didn't click on the continue button to see the output. So the execution will be very fast, so you'll not be able to see the output. Now using the data tables, we are able to enter the data details into these fields. Clear, guys? Clear? Is the data tables concept clear for you? How to enter the multiple sets of multiple lengthy data into a form using the data tables? Is it clear for you? Yes, great. Fine. So this very simple concept, guys, nothing more than that. Only that part you have to focus where you are actually trying to enter the things into the form. Whenever you see a form, simply implement data tables. That's the only thing you have to remember. Nothing more than that. When you have to enter only username and password, then don't have to implement these data tables. When you have to enter multiple, okay, many fields you have to enter in a single form, then you go with the data tables. Okay, that's only the thing that you have to remember. Fine, guys. This is all about the Cucumber. Okay, Cucumber is very important. Nowadays, most of the projects are using Cucumber. So make sure that you get good at Cucumber, and okay, you get all the results that I explained as part of the sessions. So that's it for today, guys. That's it for today. Do you have any questions, guys? Or is everything clear? Do you have any questions? You can type in the chat. If you don't have any questions, we'll wind it up for today. If you have questions, I will be ready to answer. Okay, Karan. Looks good for you. Fine. What about others? Is everything clear for you guys? Great. Great. So that's it, guys. See you in the next session. Thank you, guys. Bye.